everybody, I'm Becca and welcome back to another book review. Today we are going to be discussing Wildcard by Marie Lu. Wildcard is the second book in the Warcross duology. Don't they look pretty together? If anything, just buy these books because they're so pretty, like honestly. If you haven't read Warcross, oh wow, you're missing out. It's really good. I loved it when I read it. I think I gave it like a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I enjoyed that book so much. I do have a book review on it. Link in the description box below if you are interested. Wildcard is the epic conclusion to the Warcross duology, and this duology honestly took me for a roller coaster ride. These characters, this story, oh my gosh, if you don't know anything about the Warcross duology, please go watch my book review on it. This world is so crazy unique. I don't think I've read a duology or a book so much like this world. It's like a gamer world. It's crazy, okay? You have to read them. They are my loves and they're just beautiful. But today, we are not going to be talking about Warcross. We're going to be talking about Wildcard. I've just come to the realization, Wildcard, because Amika was the wild card in the Warcross games. Oh, well, I gave this book a 4 to 5 stars on Goodreads. It was a very satisfying conclusion to this duology. Duologies are very hard to write, guys. You're only given 2 books to finish off a story. And with all the world building and the story building in the first book, I didn't know how Marie Lu was going to pull off the second book, but she pulled it off. She pulled it off really good. That is all I'm going to say for the spoiler-free section. If you want to go check out what Warcross is about, please go read it. Go check out my book review about it. And if you have read Warcross, but you have yet to read Wildcard, go read it. Come back and we can discuss this book together. Okay, spoiler people, better get out this video because we're about to discuss all the stuff that went down in this book. In my opinion, this book started off really slow to me. I feel like a lot of the excitement from the last book was just meeting up with Hideo and just like their character relationship building, and there wasn't a lot of Hideo in this book. I think there was like 3 separate parts in the book where Amika and Hideo actually talked and interacted. The less amount of Hideo in this book, it brought me down. It brought me down so much. It was hard to get through the first 100 pages, but then once we got through that 100 pages mark, then stuff started to get really intense. Yeah, we got those 2 assassins chasing after Amika, and then she finally meets Zero and this other girl named Jax, and then this other lady named Dr. Taylor, which is a new character that we only just found out about in this book. So yeah, that was interesting meeting Zero. What do you guys think about Zero / Suzuki? I mean, I didn't understand. When we first met Zero, he was so unemotional whenever he would talk about Hideo or she would bring up Hideo. You know Zero, Hideo's your brother. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know that. I know it. I know. So what?
So what? Like, where's the emotion? Like, don't you love him? So then that made me suspect Hideo. Like, why is Zero so after Hideo? And why does he show no emotion? It made me second guess Hideo. Like, maybe did Hideo do something bad to Suzuki, and that's why Suzuki / Zero is trying to get revenge on Hideo? But then Zero was suspicious. He was suspicious throughout this entire book, so I did not know who to trust, guys. I couldn't trust Hideo because since the last book, he's kind of like a villain. You know, he's taken over all these people's minds. People don't really have their own free will. So Hideo's pretty much like the villain. But then we got Zero. I didn't trust him. I just did not. And then I was also worried that Amika and Zero were gonna like get a thing going on because they met at the beginning of the book. I knew that we weren't gonna have Hideo in this book very much because they weren't getting along. So I was like, if she teams up with Zero, is she gonna try and get with Zero? Or is there gonna be a connection? Because that's just wrong. That's just wrong. So I was worried about that. But then we had this Jax character who is pretty much Zero's girlfriend / assassin woman. So then I wasn't worried because Amika would never, or Jax would never let Amika. Now it all makes sense. Suzuki is pretty much a robot, and that's why he had no emotions whenever she would talk about Hideo. Robots? I did not see that coming. I had hope in my heart that Suzuki was out there and that Zero was the real Suzuki, and that maybe Suzuki wanted to somehow contact Hideo and that he was still alive. alive, but he's not. Suzuki actually died years ago, and now all of his data slash memories and like everything in his brain has been downloaded into this robot figure thing. Learning about Suzuki's past was so upsetting. Learning that he was sick and then his parents were so desperate that they signed him up for a study, hoping that it would cure him. The doctors were actually working for a different type of project, and Zero was in that project, and they specifically wanted Suzuki to be the child because his IQ was so high that he was like the perfect child for their study, immortality study. When Suzuki's mother tried to pull him out, Dr. Taylor kidnapped him. Then we had that scene where Suzuki is clutching that scarf and he's just so scared. Like, you can just tell how scared he is, and he just wants to go home. And oh my god, that was so sad. Oh my gosh. He never really got to go home. I mean, he does have that a little bit of reunion with Hideo, but Suzuki, his soul is gone. He's gone. All that was left of him was just his memories, and that was the only thing that was interacting with Hideo. I was so on the fence in this book because Hideo. In the first book, Warcross, I loved Hideo, fell in love with Hideo's character. I freaking adored Hideo. But then he's like a villain, right? He's a villain, guys. He's getting into people's heads and he's controlling what they think. But it's Hideo. In the last book, Hideo says, everything I do is for Suzuki. The only reason that he created the algorithm was to find Suzuki, to find out what happened to Suzuki, because we had all these criminals that once they were under the Neuralink, once Hideo had their mind under control, they were going to the police and confessing their crimes. And that's why when all these criminals were confessing their crimes, that's why we didn't get any confession about what happened to Suzuki, because Dr. Taylor was not under his control. Like I said, I probably would have enjoyed this book a lot better if Hideo was in it. More of Hideo. It's just, in the first book, Amiga and Hideo's interactions were my favorite parts of the book. I shipped them so much, and even when he was revealed that he was kind of evil, like not really evil, but like he just, I don't know. Can we even call him evil or a villain? Because what he did was not morally right, but was kind of morally right. He was just so desperate to find out what happened to his little brother. You can't help but, even though knowing that he did something bad, you can't help but love him. So in this entire book, the Phoenix Writers are helping her figure out what's happening with Hideo and Suzuki, well, Zero. Although it was cool to see them still being friends and interacting with each other, it was hard to really feel connected to their characters just because it is a duology and we only got them in the first book, and it wasn't too much getting to know them really that much, and then they're like besties. In this book, it just didn't feel real, and it just, whenever they were interacting, I was just, okay, let's get back to Hideo, come on. One character that I really loved was Tremaine, and he wasn't even a part of the Phoenix Writers. He helped Amiga so much in this book, even got shot for trying to help Amiga. So if that doesn't say a really good friend, I don't know what does. Then we get to the part after Amiga finally tells Hideo everything that's going on. They have this plan, a plan that they're going to take over Taylor's mind, and then they're going to release Zero from her control, and then Amiga is going to give him back his memories so he won't be so unemotional. Hideo did not go by the plan. He just looked at Taylor and said, die. And you know what? She died right there. And I'm pretty sure it was kind of like national television, because like everyone is watching this. So yeah. Way to go, Hideo. Way to go, Hideo. That split decision pretty much just ruined everything after that. Then we were getting chased by robots, and okay, it's one thing for a human to be controlling the minds of other humans, but then you got these robots, and I don't really like robots. I don't like that futuristic type of, it's like a horror thing to me. I just don't mess with the robots. No, I don't like that. Like robots taking over the world, like no. I knew every single person that was like running around in Zero's mind. I knew every single person was gonna get touched until we got to the very final two, Amiga and Hideo. And then it was up to them, and they did it. We finally inserted their memories into Suzuki, and then we had this moment with Hideo and Suzuki where they were just talking, and then he hugged Suzuki and he was like, I'm so sorry I couldn't save you, and it was just so sad, but like a really sweet moment. One thing that we did not learn was what Hideo's parents thought about Suzuki and how he's kind of a robot, and then how the Dr. Taylor kidnapped him. Like, I would have liked to know kind of what they thought about it. But then Hideo gets arrested, and obviously he gets arrested. He literally killed someone on national Neuralink, I don't know. He doesn't even really get punished. He gets put on like house arrest, and then Amika comes and offers him a job. I really did love how this book ended, how Amika became working for the Warcross games, because this technology that Hideo had created, even though he created it for one specific reason, it was so embedded into the world now that we can't live, but the world couldn't live without this technology that he created. So destroying the Neuralink and everything about that was never really going to happen because somebody else was going to invent it. But I really did love how this ended, how Amika became the CEO, how we got it was like a magazine article about Amika, and then it talked about Hideo and how Amika is now the CEO of the Henka Games, and then it was seen Amika and Hideo holding hands, you know, people were speculating about their relationship. Really satisfying. It was a satisfying conclusion. I do think that this book was definitely a lot more exciting and a lot better than Wildcard, but you know, probably just Hideo was more in this, and that's it. I'm so glad that I finally read this, because if I hadn't had this on my Christmas TBR, I feel like I probably want to pick this up for like maybe months. And I'm just glad to have had this satisfying conclusion to this duology, and to have both these books on my shelves because they look so good together. Yes. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought about this book. What were your thoughts while reading it? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, my friends, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.